Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this world. I'm DJ Unification, also known as Double Dragon 912, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I am doing my top 10 favorite Sega Genesis games. Let me rephrase that. Sega Genesis fighting games of all time. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to thank you guys and girls for watching my top 10s. I really do appreciate it. I already did my top 10 Super Nintendo fighting games, so I couldn't leave Sega Genesis out. So Sega Genesis had all type of fighting games back in the day, and I was blessed to be able to play some of them. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to set up. Let's get into this. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 10 has to be Deadly Moves, also known as Power Moves on Super Nintendo. But we're doing the Sega Genesis version. Wow. And actually in Japan, they also call it Power Athlete. Outside of Japan, they changed the name for the Sega Genesis version with Deadly Move, and the Super Nintendo version with Power Move. I played the Super Nintendo version of it, and I liked it. It was real cool. It had Ray on there, all different type of moves you can do, and I got a chance finally to play the Sega Genesis version of it, and it's identical. It really ain't no difference between the two. That the Sega, you use the Sega Genesis controller, as you see in the background for Deadly Moves, and for the Super Nintendo version, Power Move. They just changed that up to try to compete with each other. I give Sega Genesis credit, ladies and gentlemen. They tried their hardest to compete with Super Nintendo back in the day. They was knocking head to head, ladies and gentlemen. It was a great time to be alive back then. Great time to be alive anytime. But man, it was like, boy, you was either a Sega kid or a Super Nintendo kid back in the day. But I was blessed to have both of them, so I didn't have no dog in the fight. I love both of them. I can't complain about this. But anyways, let me stop talking. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 10 has to be Deadly Moves, also known as Power Athlete in Japan, and on Super Nintendo is known as Power Moves. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 9 of my top 10 favorite Sega Genesis fighting games of all time has to be Muhammad Ali boxing. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boxing is fighting technically, and me and my dad, shouts out to Daddy Mary, me and him used to play this one all the time. We used to play it in the living room back at the house I grew up, man. It was fun. My goodness, them graphics look good, man. You play with Muhammad Ali, and I forgot the second boxer name that I used to play against my dad all the time. And this one I remember the most because me and my dad used to play this one a lot. And my dad used to kick my tail no matter how hard I tried to play. He used to always beat me down on this. But man, this is a great boxing game. See as you can find it. It was a Sega Genesis. I don't know if this ever came out on any other console. I just know this is the Sega Genesis version of it. But it was a great game, ladies and gentlemen. You're a boxing fan. You love the graphics. You love the characters on there. Muhammad Ali float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. Ha ha! Muhammad Ali in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let me be quiet. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 9 has to be Muhammad Ali boxing.
Break it up. Fight! Break it up!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep this countdown rolling. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 8 has to be James Buster Douglas boxing. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, if you was a kid in the 90s, James Buster Douglas, I think he was like one of the first ones to beat Mike Tyson. And, you know, they ain't no easy feat to beat Mike Tyson. And I remember seeing this game in the arcade, man. This game looked amazing in the arcade, ladies and gentlemen. As you see in the background, I got the big sprites, big boxing. And I used to play this all the time in the arcade. Then when they messed around and came out with Sega Genesis, our dad rented it for us. I was like, man, I give Sega Genesis credit, ladies and gentlemen. They used to make their games look exactly like the arcade version. Now, don't get me wrong. I know the arcade version probably looks better, runs better, or whatever. But to me, it was spot on, man. And James Buster Douglas, just the big sprites, and just a good fighting game, ladies and gentlemen. You know, boxing is just technically fighting. You fighting on that, man. I had a fun time with this one, ladies and gentlemen. Fun, fun, fun. Dun, 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 dun. Let me stop. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, James Buster Douglas boxing is one of the greatest boxing games I've ever played in my life. It's up there, ladies and gentlemen. I might need to do another top 10 for boxing games. But anyways, right now, we're going to stick where we at right now. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 8 has to be James Buster Douglas boxing. Moving right along. Moving right along. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep this countdown rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep that countdown rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 7 has to be Mortal Kombat 3. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a little different this time. I actually played, when growing up, I played the Mortal Kombat 3, not on the Sega Genesis. I played it actually on the PlayStation. To me, the PlayStation version of it was the better version. But what made the Sega Genesis version unique, because I'm playing it now, y'all see that in the background, is it didn't have load times. It may not, look as good as the PlayStation version did, because to me, the PlayStation version of this game looked arcade perfect. But the Sega Genesis version, they did it pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. The sprites may be smaller, but they did a decent job on the Sega Genesis version of this game. It ain't no slouch. I like playing with it. My favorite character on there is Cyrex. I like putting him in the net. I used to have a combo I used to know how to do. But, I can't do the combos like I used to. I might pull some off. Y'all see it in the background, me playing. But, man, Mortal Kombat 3. I'll be honest with you guys. Mortal Kombat 3 was the last Mortal Kombat I really got into. After Mortal Kombat 3, I fell off. Deception and Armageddon and all that craziness they got going on now. I don't even know what's going on with the Mortal Kombat storyline. Apparently, we got Mortal Kombat 1. I don't know how that happened, but something to do with the last game they made before this one. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that. But, ladies and gentlemen, you like Mortal Kombat 3, you got your Sega Genesis, try this out, ladies and gentlemen. But, Mortal Kombat 3 a great game. Cyrax, Sonya came back, Kano, your boy Liu Kang. Then you got Cabal, Striker. Man, Mortal Kombat 3 is off the chain, ladies and gentlemen. Finish him. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at what number we at? Number 7? I think we had 7. Yeah, I'm tripping. Is Mortal Kombat 3 on the Sega Genesis. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're winding this countdown down, baby. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 6 has to be Super Street Fighter. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest with you. I first played Super Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo. This is literally my first time playing it on the Sega Genesis, because y'all see that in the background. But to me, from what I'm seeing and what I'm playing, it looks like it's identical. Now, if y'all want a real breakdown of the difference between the Super Street Fighter to Super Nintendo version versus the Sega Genesis version, check out these cats called Console Wars. I have a link in the description to their channel. They did a very in-depth breakdown of which one the better. But man, Sega Genesis version ain't no slouch, ladies and gentlemen. I thought, like I said, when I got my Super Nintendo back there, if y'all watched one of my last videos, I kind of put the Sega Genesis to the side. I only really kept the Sega Genesis around for like exclusive, like, your Streets of Rages and all that stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, playing this fighting game right now, as y'all see in the background, hey, it ain't no slouch. To me, it's just like playing the one on Super Nintendo, with slight differences. But like I said, if y'all want a real breakdown of the Sega Genesis version versus the Super Nintendo version of Super Street Fighter 2, check out Console Wars. They do a big, in-depth breakdown of it. Because I really can't do the breakdown right now, because if I did that, this video would be 2 and 3 hours. So I don't want to do that to you guys, girl. This is a countdown. Countdown. 5, 4, let me stop. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 6 has to be Super Street Fighter 2. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Now I might get a little flack on this one, but that's fine. Y'all can, like I said, leave comments below. I've seen some videos, people saying this was the worst fighting game ever made. But I disagree. I love this fighting game. But let me tell you what it is while I'm running my mouth. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 5 on my top 10 favorite Sega Genesis fighting games of all time has to be Pit Fighter. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Pit Fighter, they made 2 versions of this game. The Super Nintendo version, I've been playing the Super Nintendo version, and it was trash. I ain't gonna lie to you. Super Nintendo version of Pit Fighter, it just was off. Because I played it in the arcade. It was just off. And I played the Sega Genesis version. And to me, the Sega Genesis version of Pit Fighter was spot on with arcade. Of course, the sprites were smaller. And, you didn't have unlimited continues. But I never could beat the Sega Genesis version of this game. This Sega Genesis version of this game was hard. But I beat the arcade version. Because, in the arcade, you got, unlimited continues. But, man, I remember our dad rented this for us. And on Sega Genesis, my favorite character on there was Kato. He's that little point. Like that, man. And then you had Buzz, those fists. He used to pick you up and grab you. Then you had the kickboxer. Yeah, he reminded me of Van Damme. But man, I love Pit Fighter, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty much you go through different bosses. You can play 2-player co-op too. That was so good about it. You can do Every time you got to fight, you got to get up to that dude that look like something off the Demolition Man. People on wrestling, not Demolition Man, but y'all remember that little crew I have it going across there. But he's the last boss, and that joke was tough. I remember one time me and my brothers got to him on Sega Genesis. We died. We couldn't even finish him. But in the arcade version, I know I beat it because the arcade version got unlimited continues. But whoo, that Sega Genesis version tough. And to me, ladies and gentlemen, I know this game catches a lot of flack, but I love Pit Fighter, ladies and gentlemen. One of my favorite fighting games of all time. That's why it makes this list, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, tell me down in the comment section if you guys and girls play Pit Fighter. Love me some Pit Fighter. But coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 5 has to be Pit Fighter. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we got this countdown rolling. Keep this countdown rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 4 has to be Mortal Kombat. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Now, don't get me wrong. Shout out to one of my subscribers on my top 10 favorite Super NES fighting games video. He or she was saying that, why Mortal Kombat ain't on there. And I told him, it didn't quite make this list. And the reason why it didn't make my top 10 SNES list and rather made the Sega Genesis version, because I used to play it more because they had the blood code. Everybody and their mom that grew up in the 90s know about the blood code. Sega Genesis, I guess Sega Genesis credit, it was known as the more mature console. They had a blood code you could put in. I forgot how to do it. I remember how to do it. I forgot how to do it. Let me get the words right. I forgot how to do it right now, but I used to do it all the time back on the Sega Genesis, and that was the main reason I played the Sega Genesis version more than the Super Nintendo version. Now, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. The Super Nintendo version may look better and all that stuff, but it didn't have the blood code. And because it didn't have the blood code, I always played the Sega Genesis version more. Now, like I was telling you, shout out to the subscriber that was talking about that down in the comment section. That's why it didn't make my top 10 SNES fighting games of all time, because I played the Sega Genesis version more. Just because of the blood, ladies and gentlemen. If it didn't have the blood code in it, I probably would have played Super Nintendo in there. But that was so tight when you used to put that. I love putting in codes back in the day, but when you put that Sega Genesis blood code in there, man, you felt like you accomplished something. You be like this. I just put in the blood code, cuz I done did something. Yes, Mortal Kombat. Let's stop being silly. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 4 has to be Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis. Mortal Kombat.
Get over here. Excellent. Fight. Get over here. Excellent. Get over here. Excellent. Get over here. Finish him.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're down to the last 3. Once again, thank you guys and girls for sticking with me for so long. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 3 has to be World Heroes. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, mainly back in the day, I played World Heroes on the Super Nintendo more than I played on the Sega Genesis. I have the Sega Genesis version of it. I have a physical copy of it. Shouts out to my homie Mike. Appreciate you, Mike, hooking me up with that World Heroes Sega Genesis version. But I'm playing, as you see in the background, I will be playing the Sega Genesis version, and it ain't too much different than the Super Nintendo version. That's why I had to make this list. It didn't make the Super Nintendo top 10, but I had to put it on the Sega Genesis top 10. You know what I'm saying? This is my top 10. Like I said, you leave y'all top 10 down there in the comment section. But ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my SNK World Heroes fan. You got Fuma, Hanzo, that girl named Janet, Hart, and my favorite character on that was Fuma, the red-haired ninja. And pretty much Fuma and Hanzo are like Ryu and Ken, but I used to like Fuma. Pluto! And all of the different ninja stuff. I always loved to play as the ninja, man. Fuma was my boy. And then World Heroes, correct me if I'm wrong down in the conversation. I think a doctor taking people from different timelines in the world, and they trying to save the world from some crazy alien looking thing. I could be wrong. I got to do my more research on World Heroes. It's been so long since I played it. I'm playing it now, you see in the background, but it's been so long since I beat it. I forgot the whole storyline to it. But anyways, if you do yourself a disservice, ladies and gentlemen, you got your Sega Genesis, check out World Heroes, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't no slouch. It's a good port. I liked it. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 3 has to be World Heroes. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, down to the last 2. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 2 on my top 10 favorite Sega Genesis fighting games of all time has to be Samurai Showdown. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this one was pretty tight. I remember playing this back in the day. I remember my dad first rented the Super Nintendo version. I was like, oh, okay, the character looks small. And I remember we rented the Sega Genesis version of this game. And I remember playing, like, man, these characters are big, way bigger than the Super Nintendo version. And it looked arcade perfect to me, because I had played in arcade too. But the Sega Genesis version wasn't no slouch. It looked a lot better on Sega Genesis than it did on Super Nintendo. But the only thing was wrong with the Sega Genesis version, they couldn't fit big old Earthquake. He wasn't on the game. I don't know why they did that. I don't get why they didn't put him in the game. I guess the Sega Genesis couldn't handle it. But despite Earthquake not being in the game, I didn't play with him anyway. This is a great looking game, ladies and gentlemen. It looks spot on to the arcade. They got bigger sprites than the Super Nintendo. Because I had a Super Nintendo and Sega at the time. And I compared the sprites. I'm like, man, the Sega Genesis version look a lot better. Galford, Hanzo, Hamaru, Jubei, Yagu Jubei, man. Ipumbe, swoop. Sega Genesis version wasn't no slouch, ladies and gentlemen. To me, it looked spot on with the arcade. I love playing that back in the day when I rented it. I'm pretty sure I beat it. But y'all check out the gameplay first. I'm enjoying playing it now. But ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 2 on my top 10 favorite Sega Genesis fighting games of all time has to be Samurai Showdown. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we down to my number one. And my number one favorite Sega Genesis fighting game of all time is Eternal. Let me not stop playing. Ain't no Eternal Champions. I'm just being silly. Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, Special Championship Edition. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I remember when this game finally came out, I was like, cause we rented it on Sega Genesis. I remember playing it on Super Nintendo version. And to me, in my opinion, this is just my humble opinion, that the Super Nintendo version of Hyper Fight was a lot better than Special Championship Edition. But it wasn't no slouch. What make it number one on this list, ladies and gentlemen, has to be when it finally came out, Sega and Capcom teamed up and put their heart and soul into this game. It had all kind of characters, had the turbo function where you can get it up to, I think, 9 or 10 stars. It was like, I give it that, a lot faster than the Super Nintendo version of the game. But man, you can speed it up, because Sega got that blast processing, speed the game up and have all kind of stuff going on. I remember Chun-Li was on here. She finally got her fireball. Yeah, hard. Man, she fine. And then Ken, Ryu, then you can finally play on with the bosses on this game. And the Sega Genesis version finally got they due, because I remember back in the day, Super Nintendo was getting all the Capcom Street Fighter games. And Sega finally let Sega get a Capcom Street Fighter game. And this was their first one. There was no slouch. My only gripe with this game was, Sega Genesis version got that scratchy voice. It's kind of scratchy, but shout out to him, Sega Lord X. He said there's some mods out there you can get where it fixes all that. I don't know how to do all this stuff, but they said there's some mods out there that can fix that scratchy voice. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, this is Street Fighter at its finest. First time on the Sega Genesis, but what was messed up though, not really messed up. If you only had a 3-button controller back in the day, you had to press start. You go A, B, C, then press start to change from punches and kicks. Man, anybody that plays Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition on the Sega Genesis with a 3-button controller, tip my hat off to you, because man, that probably was tough. But pretty much, basically, because Sega came with the 3-button controller, you needed to buy the 6-button controller, and everything would be just right. It looked just like the Super Nintendo version. That's why I don't know if I ever bought I think I might have bought it back in the day, but man, I enjoyed Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition. Like I said, the special version of the Sega Genesis was mainly where you could speed it up to, I think, to 10 to 12 stars and have them get character fighting so fast on there you wouldn't even know what it is. It was tight, man. We tried it before. It was real tight. I give them credit. Man, Sega Genesis and Capcom pumped their heart and soul into this game. It was awesome. That's why it makes number one on this list. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen, for this rendition of my top 10 favorite Sega Genesis fighting games of all time. Leave comments below, ladies and gentlemen, your top 10 favorite Sega Genesis fighting games of all time. I would love to know your thoughts, because I know I missed some. Let me know which ones I missed and what was your favorite. There we go. Thank you guys and girls so much for watching. Stay tuned for more great videos like this on the way. Double Dragon 912 signing out. Peace out.
Round 2, fight! Perfect.